All right, winners and steak dinners. Let's go ahead and try to figure out who the heck is going to win the games this week. We're going to pick them against the spread. I have lost my rundown here, so I can't even tell you this isn't even a cop-out. I can't tell you what the records of everybody are, and I can't find which games we're going to pick. It's a very
Bryan's leading. I'm
here.
In second. You're way behind.
As usual? Okay. All right. Yes. Well,
I have the records up right now. All right. I am 11-5. Gene, you're 9-7. Pat, you're 6-10. I went 4-1 last week. So
no, we're so happy for you.
Throwing that out there.
Like they need to, can we mute Bryan's mic here for this
forever?
Yeah, please. Thank you. Okay. Interesting week again. This is not a loaded week of games, but there are some non-traditional, fascinating games out there. I alluded to two of them at the beginning of the show, and we're going to pick them. We're going to start with number 9, Illinois, getting 5.5 at number 19, Indiana. October 28th, 1950, 75 years ago, the one and only time they met as ranked opponents. And I have to say, as I was looking up information about that game, because I just got interested and went down the rabbit hole, newspapers.com, which is great fun, I did come across the same day in like the Sunday papers, there was an AP story on Kentucky playing Georgia Tech that was written by an AP writer named Sterling Slappy. I hope Sterling Slappy went on to a fine career. I got a kick out of his byline. Anyway, Illini, undefeated and playing really well under Bielema. Hoosiers, undefeated, playing really well under Signetti, but have not played anyone as of yet. I'll be at that game, nighttime game. I'm going to be fascinated to see what the atmosphere is like, whether Indiana knows how to have a good football atmosphere. I know they tried last year. We'll see if they can keep it cranked up this season. I'm going to take the Hoosiers and give the 5.5. It's a pretty big number in, I think, two pretty even teams. But I really have liked this Indiana team all preseason. I think we put them number 10 in our preseason top 25, higher than about anybody else. They've got a better quarterback in Fernando Mendoza, and their defense is very good. They've got some skill players. I'm rolling with the Hoosiers.
I'll defer to Mr. 11 and 1.
No, you got to go out there so I can see where we're because this is one of those weird lines. It started out 5.5. It's actually moved to Indiana 6.5, I believe. So like everything is going towards the Hoosiers, but that is a lot in a game that you expect to be kind of close. I think Illinois, the style of play, they're going to be a little bit more methodical in this one. I think turnovers are going to be key in this one in terms of which of those quarterbacks is going to give the ball away. So far they really haven't. But I think if you're going to lean towards somebody making a boneheaded play, I almost want to go Fernando Mendoza. He's had a couple of passes that have been a little bit errant. That's a lot of points for a ranked team on the road. So give me Illinois plus 5.5. I might live to regret this one because I am a big supporter in terms of what Indiana has coming into this game. But I think Illinois that is a team as I mentioned earlier, longest active win streak. They know how to win these games. They've been tested a lot more than Indiana has this season. So give me the Illini.
To our listeners and viewers who might, and if you are, you've really got some issues, who might listen to my pick and think, I should do what he's saying. Don't. I have no clue on this game. It's like me pretending I know Portuguese. I don't know. I can't figure out this line for the life of me. It befuddles me. The whole game befuddles me as far as the spread is concerned. I'm going to take Illinois in the points only because I think Illinois is an experienced team. I don't think they'll get freaked out by being on the road. To Bryan's point, they are more of a methodical team. I think they'll play it close, and they have been on the road. They were at Duke and won. So I like Illinois for reasons I can't really articulate, just because I like the 5.5 points. If somehow Illinois wins this for me, I'll be the most surprised guy in America.
I would agree with you, though. I would run away from this game in terms of betting it. Like if I were,
absolutely,
I don't bet, but this is one I would not touch. Here's another interesting one. I'm not sure I would touch this, and Brian Fischer will be covering this. Number 17, Texas Tech, getting 3.5 in the muss at number 16, Utah. Great place to watch a game. 10 a.m. local kick. Oh, my God. I feel bad for the Ute fans because kegs and eggs games can be fun, but they also, you got to get going early for this. And for our viewers, I'm wearing a Fischer beer hat, not a Bryan Fischer beer, but a Fischer beer hat. That's a Salt Lake Brewery. Excellent product out there. Red Raider fans, if you're rolling into SLC, hit the brewery, enjoy it.
Maybe they want to sponsor us.
Maybe they do. You know what? We could use a sponsor. Fischer Beer. Look us up. I'm available. Brian, what do you got to pick in this game?
Do you know how many 10 a.m. kickoff games have you covered in your illustrious career?
I don't think I've ever covered a 10 a.m. Have you?
This is, I think, the fourth, maybe.
Wow.
Third or fourth. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of those big noon kickoffs that have come to the Mountain Time. Utah's had one before.
Colorado's had a couple.
Colorado's had several.
Yeah.
USC comes to mind a couple of years ago as well when they were rolling. So this is not my first rodeo, though. I do like them in terms of getting home and being able to actually watch games and get back to see a lot of those 3:30 kickoffs and in the primetime games. So give me Utah at home. The hook scares me a lot in this one. With that 3.5, but I think Utah, with the offense they have, they're going to be able to keep things close. And look, their advantage is the one thing that can negate what Texas Tech has done in the portal. You know, they went heavy along their offensive and defensive lines. Well, guess what? Utah has maybe the best offensive line in the country. They certainly have 2 first-round tackles on both the left and right side. I think Devin Dampier and Jason Beck, the OC there, I think they know what to do when games are close. When they need a play called, I think they have a lot of things up their sleeve. So give me the Utes at home. The hook scares me, but I think this is going to determine who is that Big 12 favorite this season, along with Iowa State.
Do you live in Salt Lake, Brian?
Not too far from the stadium, yeah.
Okay, so you're not, you got to learn from Forde. Get the gas mileage a little more. Okay. Yep. It's a rookie mistake. But I'm with you. I'm taking Utah. The hook does not scare me. It's nothing against Texas Tech. This is just business. Utah wanted this game, by the way. They wanted the big noon game. They wanted the national exposure. I think they're going to embrace it, have a lot of fun with it. And I picked Utah to win that conference in our first podcast. I'm going to stick with them. I just think they're the better team, and I think they're worth the play on the 3.5.
Yeah, I'm with you boys there. I'm going with the Utes. Solid program that they had the blip last year. They're back, and they did what Vanderbilt did, what Oklahoma has done, is where you don't just go get a quarterback, you get the quarterback's offensive coordinator too, and you bring in the package and you ramp your offense that way, and it is working extremely well so far for them. I hope the fans get there early and enjoy their sunrise tailgating. I do remember a couple of years ago covering Colorado when, the prime hysteria, and they're on Big Noon Kickoff like 3 times in September. And God bless them. The Colorado fans, they were excited by having Coach Prime, but they're not wired for the massive crush of sudden hoopla. And so you're sitting there on US 36 trying to get into Boulder from staying on the outskirts, and it is just hopelessly jammed up, and you're not going to get there. I need to get there to get video of Coach Prime on the field beforehand or whatever. It's like, sorry, I'll make kickoff, but I'm not going to make the pregame festivities, and neither did a lot of their fans. Now they might not be so festive. They're not very good this year.
No.
All right. Michigan, Nebraska, really interesting Big Ten game to me. Michigan is giving 2.5 in Lincoln. Cornhuskers have been building towards this kind of game. They are undefeated so far this year. It's year 2 with Dylan Raiola. They've put together a pretty good team around him. Gino, what do you think is going to happen?
Repeat after me. Year 3 is when Matt Rule's rebuilding projects usually take their biggest leap, right? Did it at Temple? Did it at Baylor? Everything seems to be trending that way here at Nebraska. The game is at Nebraska. They get Michigan with an interim head coach and Biff Poggi, even though Poggi does have a track record as a head coach. You're facing a true freshman quarterback at Michigan who has to go on the road again. And yet I'm going to do a Lee Corso on you, and I'm going to take Michigan. I'm not yet a believer in Nebraska. I saw what Underwood did on the road at a tough place at OU, and I thought he did relatively well. And I don't expect him to be worse at Nebraska after that experience at OU. I think Michigan is going to take a few more of the training wheels off of that offense for him. And I think this is the kind of game that Michigan is actually built for. I'll lay the 2.5.
Well, I think, I almost want to pick against Michigan because Biff's not coaching in the cutoffs anymore. Like if
he wants to.
There Lincoln in the cutoffs,
unfortunate. If you've seen Biff with the sleeveless shirts and the big meaty arms, it's a beautiful sight.
I mean,
former pit lineman.
It's not a primetime game, so you can roll out there in the sun, show the gun show, if you will, Biff. So I think I'm going to lean with the home team getting points. I mean, this is the peak of what Nebraska can be on the field this year when Dylan Raiola is operating well in that offense. When those black shirts come to play on defense, I think they can win this game, and I think this is going to be a big test for whether not only is Nebraska for real in the Big Ten as a potential fringe, maybe dark horse if you want to call them that, college football playoff contender, because the schedule does set up well. If they can get past this game, you can see the runway going there in terms of building momentum. This is a big game for Matt Rule. I think they know that. I am a little bit concerned after watching them in that Cincinnati game where they almost kind of gave it away there at Arrowhead. That is it, starkly emblazoned in my mind. But I think Nebraska in this spot, that they've had this one circled for a while. I think they get the edge on the interim coaching staff there in Michigan.
I'm rolling with Biff. For this reason, I think that, and this doesn't really have much to do with Biff, but last week we saw Michigan do with Bryce Underwood, what they really didn't do against Oklahoma, which is cut him loose to run and be the exquisite athlete he is. He had over 100 yards rushing on, I think, only 9 carries. Yeah, it was Central Michigan, but that's the dynamic of his game that I think makes him all the more dangerous, and he's plenty confident. You get him going with some runs and watch the confidence build there and see that offense start moving better. And I think Michigan can win and cover in Lincoln. To Bryan's point, Nebraska has tended to turn into a bundle of nerves in close games, as they did against Cincinnati and nearly blew that. So I don't trust them in a close game here. All right, a game that looked like it was going to be maybe one of the highlights of the week till Florida laid a couple of eggs. But the Gators are getting 7.5 in South Florida against the Canes. Bryan, who are you picking?
A little worried about the back door in this game, but giving Miami, even with that hook in particular. I mean, I think if they are going to run up any type of score, if they're going to have an opportunity to throw it deep and get another big play on the Gators, trust me, Mario Cristobal is going to do this in this one, especially with Florida State on deck. They are operating at peak efficiency right there in Miami. I think this is a big game for Carson Beck. Give me Miami in the 7.5.
I'm with you on Miami. I'm not concerned about the hook. I think Pat put it perfectly earlier. Florida's right at the edge. If there's any sort of real problem in this game, I could see Florida just folding. I mean, I hate to use that word, but I think they're right there. I mean, can they go 1 week without some sort of controversy? They just had an assistant coach suspended for 3 games for the pregame scuffle against in LSU. I mean, they can't seem to get out of their own way. And if any of you can explain to me or point out a position of strength that Florida has over Miami right now, I mean, I think Miami has a better quarterback. I think they have the better O and D lines. I think they have the momentum. It's at Miami. I just can't think of a compelling reason to take Florida in this game, even with the 7.5 points.
Yep, I'm with you guys. Gene, you said earlier if anybody I think has played the best so far this season, it might be Miami. I've been really impressed by what they've put on the field, and I think they are going to continue that, and they're going to roll. They'll win. I ain't worried about the hook. they're taking that game and coming out authoritatively. All right, lock of the week. Who do you guys have?
Well, I think you guys enjoyed me going off the board quite a bit last week, so I'm going to go way off the board. We're going to go to the factory, the gray field, and
you're going further off the board than Georgia Southern.
Ypsilanti,
Pat.
Ypsilanti.
Oh my God.
Louisiana, don't call them ULL, getting 2.5 points at Eastern Michigan, or giving 2.5. Give me the Cajuns, the Raging Cajuns, to cover that number. Eastern Michigan, maybe one of the worst teams, not only in the MAC, but in FBS, based on what they've shown so far this year. Give me the Cajuns on the gray field of Ypsilanti.
Another deep cut from Bryan Fischer.
Go ahead, Pat.
All right, I'm taking Memphis here. Bryan alluded to the Tigers. They're off to a really good start. They are getting 7.5 at home against Arkansas. And the Arkansas scheduling dynamic, I think, is an interesting one here, where they played a little brother, but still a game they had to be ready for and pay attention to in Arkansas State. They went on the road and played an old SEC West rival, Mississippi. Next week, Notre Dame comes to Fayetteville for the first time. And then you've got this game plunked in here on the road against a team that absolutely wants to beat you and a fan base that wants to beat you, because there's a lot of neighborhood rivalry between Arkansas and Memphis fans. There's a lot of Arkansas fans live in Memphis and in that area. This Memphis team's a little better running the ball than previous iterations, so I can see them controlling the ball, eating up some clock, keeping Talon Green off the field, and if they don't win outright, they can certainly cover the 7.5. I love that hook there.
I really like that pick. Can I have that too?
If you want it, go ahead. Come up with your own reason.
Got to do my own. Lock of the week, Brian Kelly will be on his best behavior after they beat Southeastern in the postgame presser. But if I had to pick a game, I'm going to go with the University of Pat Forde. I'm going to give the 10.5 points against South Carolina. I like this Mizzou team. I know they don't leave the state until next February or something. I mean, their schedule's
it is
ridiculous.
An absurd schedule.
This will be South Carolina's first road game. We really don't know the condition of Lenore Sellers. He's expected to play. He's listed as questionable. I expect him to play, but how effective will he be? And I think Mizzou has a lot going for it. I think I like that offense. I like that atmosphere. I think that's a game where Mizzou could really sort of impose its will. And I think South Carolina's in a kind of a quirky, dangerous spot right now. So I'll give the 10.5 and root for the 40s.
Yeah, I have no idea what to think about that game, but Missouri does have the schedule set up if they are good enough to roll pretty deep into this season. So we will see.